hey, it's time to celebrate. Everyone's finally outside. Our official practices his side job, and Dave Imme thinks it's lame. Not everyone's happy, especially the base runner at first. You're out! Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. And boy, we skipped spring, went right on to summer into the 80s today.
I loved it. I was out tanning on the roof while I was checking the weather. It was great.
Unbelievable. But, just a couple weeks ago, we had 1.5 feet of snow. Now everybody's trying to make up for lost time, getting a lot of action in.
They're going to have to, obviously. You see teams playing 4 games a week at this point in the season, at least the 3 for sure. And, you have to make up that time. Unfortunately, I think the weather should cooperate, and everybody, at least this week, should get games in.
Well, we'll see what we can do. We can catch you up on what has been played. The baseball team finally got its season started last Thursday. They hustled over to Maple Grove at 10 o'clock in the morning. Played a split doubleheader to open their season. They get a win over the Crimson, 6-2. Jackson Bates didn't have a hit, but he got on base 4 times, had a couple of steals, scored 3 times. Olson was 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Peterson 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Rothstein 1 for 3, and Bryce Peterson got the win, throwing 5 strong innings with 6 hits, 1 run, and 3 walks, a couple of strikeouts. After a short rest, the Cardinals were at Centennial Thursday afternoon for the second half of their season-opening doubleheader. It was the 3rd game of the season for the Cougars, who beat Spring Lake Park on Monday before losing to Maple Grove on Wednesday. Both teams will be fighting hard in an early but important game in both their conference and section. No score until the top of the 3rd. Bases loaded with 1 out for Coon Rapids. Jackson Bates with a pop-up behind second base. McNamara able to track it down, but Xander Parr tags and scores on the sacrifice. Gets the Cardinals on the board. Logan Rothstein advances to 3rd safely as well. Next batter is Nick Lockinen with 2 in scoring position. He lines it through the hole to the right field. Rothstein and Jack Arndt will score a 2-run single, makes it a 3-0 lead. Centennial score in the bottom of the 5th. The Cardinals answer in the top of the 6th. Kirby Peary with an RBI single to left. Parr scores easily to make it 4-1. Lockinen coming through again with 2 in scoring position. He rifles it to right. Peary will score. They hold Bates at 3rd this time. The Cardinals able to push their lead to 5-1 midway through the 6th. Unfortunately, it wouldn't hold. The Coon Rapids pitching staff struggled with control. Centennial scored on 2 bases-loaded walks in the 6th, tied the game on a bases-loaded hit batter in the 7th, and won with another bases-loaded walk in the 8th inning. Cardinals walked 8 and hit 5 batters, all from the 5th to the 8th inning, and they lose 6-5.
Yeah, it was a tough loss for them. Obviously up 5-1 going into the 6th, and you just, it's all about pitching in this situation, and they obviously did not get it, unfortunately. Too many walks, too many hit batters, and they let Centennial back in the game, and, give credit to the Cougars. They took advantage of it and got the win.
Yeah, just hard to stomach because they gave it away the way they did.
Yep.
Hermanson was really strong through the first 4 innings, struggled a little bit in his 5th. He started it with a couple of walks. Everybody who came in behind him gave up some walks, and it was unfortunate. You'd like to see a team beat you rather than lose, especially for a game that, it's the season opening day for your squad, but still an important game because of the shortened schedule.
Yeah, and also I believe implications for conference and I believe section as well. So it was a game that they wanted to win. Coach Bright said this is a game we want, and unfortunately they couldn't get it. Well, the Cardinals were hoping for a bounce-back game in their home opener on Saturday when they welcomed Edina to Ken Sundstrom Field. The Hornets were already off to a great start with a 4-1 record and 34 runs scored in those 5 games. Cardinals knew they would need a fast start, would have their hands full trying to keep up with the high-powered offense from blowing up again. To get the start they needed in the bottom of the 1st, Caleb Ness, a bases-loaded bloop. Lockinen scores. They get Peterson home too, but he's out at the plate, 1-0 Coon Rapids. Edina's going to answer right away in the 2nd, coming up here. Matthew Enck, bases loaded, finds the gap in left center. 2 runs will score. Hornets will take a lead on that double. Score is going to stay the same until the top of the 4th. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Charlie Fisher with a high fly ball to left. Coming up here. Easy out for Offerdahl, but Jay Chakarek will cross the plate on the sacrifice. Coming in here, Edina's going to have a 3-1 lead. We're going to move to the 6th, 2 on, 1 out. Drew Schmidt drills the first pitch he sees. Fisher will score from second, but Braden Farley gets it back in quickly and keeps the second runner at third. Well, he wasn't there very long. Next pitch is a curveball, and Cam Schmidt gives it a ride to right. Ryan Garlick is there for the out, but Adam Surik will tag and score, puts the Hornets on top 5-1 midway through the 6th. Cardinals trying to rally with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Kirby Pierre drives this one over the head of Fisher in center. Garlick is going to score all the way from first on the double. Nice base hit, gets an opportunity for Ryan Garlick, his first varsity start, gets a hit and a run. A hit batter and a walk loaded the bases, but Surik comes in for the save with a 3-pitch strikeout on Bryce Peterson. Edina hands Coon Rapids a 5-2 loss, much to the chagrin of my partner Joe Yund.
Yeah, hard for me to see Edina win in anything. Of course, I want to see the Cardinals win.
Of course,
always. But you know, it was tough just because they couldn't get their bats going. They really their pitching looked better. They didn't give up as many walks. Still a few more than they would have liked. Right. But you know, their starter came in, and Severson only lasted 2 innings. He threw a ton of pitches in those 2 innings. I thought Brandon Strauss actually threw a pretty nice game for
he really did
for the remainder, especially once he got his curveball down lower. The Edina hitters had a tough time with that, but the offense wasn't there. I mean, nope. This is a game where you know, you needed more runners and you needed to be able to push more on the bases. We saw in the Centennial game, I think they had like 6 or 7 stolen bases. So when they got on base, they do like to force, you know, put that pressure on the defenses. And against Edina, they just weren't able to get on the bases and then try and create some runs the way they would have liked.
Yeah, a quality matchup for them, obviously, early in the season against a strong club like Edina. Just didn't get the job that they needed done.
Well, on a busy week for them, they host Armstrong on Tuesday, then back-to-back road games at Minnetonka on Wednesday and at Andover on Thursday. Softball team has been busy. They got, of course, the faster start thanks to the indoor games, but since going outside, they've looked pretty strong. Yeah, they lost that one 12-6. It threw me off there when I looked up, but you know, but 6 runs is solid. You don't like to give up 12, obviously. But the Cougars handle a loss 12-6 on the 25th. They bounce right back, though, get a win over Maple Grove. And the Crimson, one of those teams that is expected to be
big win,
be one of the top teams in the conference section. So big win for them, beating them 4-3. Brooke Mastler was the winning pitcher through a complete game, gave up 9 hits with 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. Sam Lom went 3 for 4 from the plate. Abby Carls 2 for 3. Julia Byrne 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI. Same line for Kennedy Kerr at the plate. And then today, Shapiro, an exciting one. An 11-8 come-from-behind win for the Cardinals over crosstown rival Blaine Bengals. Elia Johnson, a 3-run walk-off home run in the bottom of the 7th inning, had 5 RBI on the day. Meg Scheck scored 3 times, walked 3 times, got hit by a pitch, worked her way on base,
percentage
got
is
around.
good.
Sam Lom scored 3 times as well. So getting it done, and that's what they needed to do. And Coach Nienaber talked about before the Blaine game, it was going to be a shootout. He knew it was a good team and that they'd have to put up some runs. And boy, did they.
Boy, Elias tearing the cover off the ball. I mean, when I talked to Coach Nienaber about 7 o'clock, he said that ball still hasn't come down, that one she hit for the walk-off 3-run homer. So, and that's her 3rd. And 5 RBI today. It's incredible.
Well, and all of the Cardinals, they're getting home runs all over the place. And
they tear the cover off the ball.
Of their what now, 6-7 games, they've had at least 1 home run in, I think, all but 1 game. So a power hitting club, and that's fun. We're looking forward to getting our first chance to see them in action. That will happen on Tuesday when they host Armstrong. Then they're at Andover on Thursday.
Should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. They're exciting. I did get a chance to see that game out in West St. Paul, just a few innings, and they play well and they hit the ball really well. I'm excited.
Tennis team had a lot of competitions we talked about last week on Sports Night. They were very busy this past week. On Tuesday, they lost to Anoka 6-1. The lone victory coming at first singles. Andrew Argyros, a nice win for him, 6-1, 6-love. Nick Yang goes down 2-6, 2-6. Kerman Arotena Edme lost in 3 sets. Caden Carey lost 1-6, 2-6 at fourth singles. Hewitt and Speltz lost 0-6, 2-6. Stein and Avery lost 1-6, 2-6 at second doubles. Well, the Cardinals right back at it on Wednesday, this time traveling to take on the Chample Park Rebels. For the Coon Rapids team, it's all about staying with the process. They're a young group that continues to learn and improve each time they take the court. A week like this gives them loads of lessons on the game. We start at first singles. Andrew Argyros in the far court, and he continues to get stronger as he gets his game to midseason form. Dominates this one again. Solid net play on this point. Argyros on his way to another 6-1, 6-0 win. Nick Yang serving up the ace at second singles. He won the first set, but ended up losing in a tiebreaker, 6-4, 3-6, 7-10. Kerman Arotena Edme playing at third singles. Great job forcing his opponent to move deep to the backhand and no chance on the winner. Kerman gets his first win of the year, 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. Fourth singles, good volley. Watch the athleticism of Caden Carey. Slides into that backhand right there. Then just this next one, a beautifully placed lob over the head of his opponent for the point. But Carey loses 3-6, 4-6. Second doubles, great return by Derek Avery down the line. He and Noah Stein stay close in the first set, but lose 6-7, 1-6. Third doubles, Nick Terabeza and Austin Hansen in the far court for the Cardinals. This return played into the net. Terabeza and Hansen lose in straight sets, 1-6, 4-6. Cardinals lose 5-2.
Yeah, Cardinals are still looking for – last Friday was their first day actually out on the courts outside. And, you know, they're still looking for that right combination. And there's a number of games, obviously, matches left in the season. They're looking to get that right chemistry going, play with a little bit on the singles and the doubles.
Again, it's a team that really only has one experienced varsity player coming back, and he's playing really well already. The other guys are coming along.
They are coming along.
And again, it's about learning. It's about, figuring out what they need to do to get victories, and it'll happen. But don't expect this team to be
a 20-win team.
No,
yeah.
And not to be a real contender in sections this year. But with the numbers they have, the quality of player they have, give them a couple years and they could be turning some heads. On Friday they played Park Center and they lost again, a closer one. To the Pirates, losing 4-3. Argyros, another win, had to go to 3 sets to do it. 6-4, 6-7, 10-6. Nick Yang also winning in 3 sets. And Austin Hansen, his first action at singles, he gets his first varsity win. 6-3, 2-6, and 12-10. Some tense points in the tiebreak, but he gets the job done. Then today, they took on Blaine and lost 6-1. Andrew Argyros again getting their lone win. No. All right, Argyros lost in 3.
Lost.
Hansen gets a second win.
Yep, 2 in a row.
Keep him at singles.
Yep.
And that's that
tinkering. That's the tinkering that they're doing. Yep.
Hansen, and I know that Austin's relatively new to the game. I think he may have played last year. Just a sophomore. His first action at singles, he gets back-to-back wins, so I know he's got to be happy about that. And the team obviously celebrating everybody's victories, and as you talk about each and every year, Coach Storick moves pieces around. But this year, more than ever, I think we'll see that because he's got so many young players and so many new players.
Yeah, I think he's having a hard time finding out, just getting everybody some actually playing time that he'd like to see. So
well, and again,
that's not a bad problem.
I can't say it enough. 45 kids out for tennis this year. Coach Storick added an extra team to make sure that everybody gets to play. not sending anybody home. I think that's fantastic. Brought out an extra coach in Tony Hurdy to help out, and I know a couple of the kids on those that are brand new to the game that are on that lower, that brand new team that they added, and they're having a blast, and that is
great to hear.
That is fantastic. Cardinals at Centennial Tuesday, host North St. Paul on Friday, so they get a little bit of a breather Wednesday, Thursday, maybe get into practice and work on some of those things that they've determined we're not doing this so well. And then they have they host a tournament on Saturday, so lots of action still to come for them this week.
It's all about the repetition.
Correct.
The more play you get, the better you become. The track and field teams got a couple of events in last week, starting on Tuesday when they were competing in the Roseville Invite. Both boys and girls teams returned state participants from last season, and both seem to have enough talent and depth that they could turn some heads this season. But they've only got a short time to accomplish a lot of goals. A few highlights from the Roseville Invite, starting with girls hurdles. Cardinals lost a great hurdler last year in Kaylee Harris, but Grace Henneman trying to fill those shoes. She finishes 4th in the 100-meter hurdles. She's also able to finish 3rd in the 300 hurdles. Hurdles are a strength for both Cardinal teams. Spencer Hoyam just destroying the competition in the 110 hurdles at Roseville. He wins in 16.16 seconds. And in the other heat, another Cardinal runner doing well. Stephen Mende takes 5th place in the 110 hurdles, crossing the line in 18.12 seconds. Of course, it was no surprise to see Brielle Clark getting off to a fast start this season. The senior captain was at state last year, and she's hoping to do it again this year and set some school records at the same time. She wins the 100-meter dash at Roseville in 13:01. Nice time for her. Thomas Silla trying to return to state for the boys as well. His showing not quite as strong as Clark's, but he has a decent time at 11.63 seconds and finishes in 6th place.
A lot of strong finishes, especially on the boys' side, and they did it in groups from each of the events. Koji is 1st in the long jump. Galen Tomboy not far behind in 3rd, jumping 18 foot 9.5 feet, or 18 feet 9.5 inches. One of the two. Hoyam and Mende again 2nd and 3rd in the 300-meter hurdles. In the triple jump, it's Brown and Silla finish 2nd and 3rd. In the pole vault, it's Marks and Smith finishing 3rd and 4th. And we couldn't fit them all in here. They also finished 5th and 6th. McGrath and Tidro in the high jump. 6th and 7th in the shot put. That's Taylor and Fosland. And then 7th place finish in the 400-meter dash. And 2 4th place finishes in relays, the 4x8 and the 4x1. Girls team. There you see it, Brielle Clark, just outstanding all around. She wins the 100, as you talked about,
She's
also
so
the
good.
200 and the high jump, clearing 5 foot 2 inches. She could jump right over me. Grace Henneman, also a strong finish in the 300-meter hurdles, finished in 3rd place in that one. Ellie Biggins was 2nd in the shot put. And again, you see them grouping 2nd and 3rd in shot put with Biggins and then Adamola Green. Hurdle was up and over at 9.5 feet for the pole vault. Discus, Everhart was 6th, Morcillo was 8th. They also had 4th place finishes in the 4x8 and the 4x1. Killian was 8th in the triple jump, and Headland was 10th in the 3,200 meter. On Friday, the boys at the St. Thomas Invite. Again, some great finishes. Galen Tomboy, 2nd place in the long jump, going 20 foot 3 inches. Koji was 5th in the long jump and 5th in the 400-meter dash. Smith and Marks 5th and 6th in the pole vault, and Tomboy 6th in the triple jump. Hoyam was 6th in the 110 hurdles, 7th in the 300-meter hurdles, and Fosland finished 10th in the shot put. They also had some good finishes from Alexander in the discus in 11th place. Elijah McGrath was 12th in the high jump. They took 14th and 16th places. That was Paul Breitbach and Andre Kemboy in the 800-meter run. And King finished 15th in the 200-meter dash. Also on Friday, Brielle Clark. Not a surprise to see her getting the invite to the invite-only Hamlin Elite Meet, where she finished in 11th place in the 100-meter dash. Almost a little more than 7/10 of a second faster than her first place finish at Roseville.
That was pretty good. You had a lot of reading to do. I had a chance to go out and grab a drink and a sandwich by the time you got done, so that was nice.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we gave credit to everyone. I think it's really exciting, especially for the boys team, how many events they're finishing strong in, and how
good to see.
And that in almost every event they got two guys that are placing right next to each other, which is going to push each other. They're going to push each other throughout practice, and that means they're going to have that much more power in meets to try and increase their team score. If those 5th and 6th place finishes move up to 3rd and 4th, or to 2nd and 3rd, that's a lot of extra team points.
We talk about that in cross country as well. How the Cardinal runners, for sure, they try and run in groups and push each other just like they do here in track. So it's really interesting, and as this season continues to grow, they'll continue to do better and get their times down as well.
Both teams will take part in the Blaine Invite on Tuesday of this week, and then True Team section 5AA True Team meet is already a week from Tuesday.
It's crazy.
Not a lot of time to get ready, but again, with the number of athletes they have really kind of packed together, placing well in a number of different events, they could be a team that maybe surprises some teams at True Team in just over a week. Boys golf team finally getting out on the course toward the end of last week. First Northwest Suburban Conference event of the year. Only 9 holes. They played at North Fork on Thursday. Cardinals finished in 13th place. Luke Medved was the leader, shooting a 46. Connor Wise 2 strokes behind him. Then He-Man, Ammon, and Erickson both shooting 53. They were back at North Fork today and played a full 18. And if you notice, only one player shot better on the back half, that being Drew Erickson, who had a 98 for the day. Everyone else struggled a little bit more on the back half. Why? Because it was really hot out, and that's the first time that they've walked 18 holes with their bag on their
Yeah, it was warm
bag.
today. Got up to 80.
It was hot and humid, and that may have affected the scores. Heeman was again the team leader with an 87. Luke Medved had a 92. The other 3 were all over the century mark, with Arliano in at 103, Connor Wise at 107, and Matt Ammon with a 108. And they have one of their biggest events of the year. You usually start with the Bunker Invite. Instead, they've already had a couple of matches. They have the Bunker Invite coming up Tuesday this week.
Yeah, and if you talk about hot and humid, it's going to be even more so tomorrow, so make sure you hydrate. Hydrate, kids.
Girls golf team got its first action in last week, and of course in the Northwest Suburban Girls Golf, they go head-to-head, and the Cardinals came out the winner against Centennial in their first outing of the year, shooting a 240 to Centennial's 253. Rachel Bissett was the medalist in this one with a 51. Olson shot a 60. Bissett shot a 64. Bezcalo shot a 65. Goldman an 81, and No an 81. And remember, they've got Ellie Carver, who will be up toward the top of those rankings as well. She was out sick when they had their first event. They actually played a tournament in Cambridge today. All of those scores weren't in yet, so we'll have those for you next week on Sports Night. And again, they have the Northwest Suburban Conference mid-season tournament Thursday.
Jeez,
Thursday.
Mid-season already? Seems like it just started.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is strange.
Weird how that works. Yep. But that's the nature of it when you have snow until mid-April. Well, the girls lacrosse team finally got its season started. I'm saying that a lot, aren't I?
I know.
Finally got its season started. We did finally get the season started last Wednesday for the girls lacrosse team traveling take on the Armstrong Falcons. Armstrong already had a couple of games under their belt, but had lost those games by a combined 32-5. Still, the Cardinals were facing real competition for the first time this spring and still trying to figure out how to work together in a new system. Cardinals trailing early but controlling in the offensive end, and Nessa McCarr will get it to Jordan Keller behind the net. She'll come out front and bounce it home. That evens the score at a goal apiece. Coon Rapids had a brief lead, but Armstrong able to answer. Great pass finds Mayula Chamolnunsuk cutting down the middle. She scores and ties the game again at 2. Cardinals fly back into the lead. Paige Fosslin converting on a free position, and that would put Coon Rapids in front 4-2. Why couldn't her name be Smith?
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately, they were unable to stretch the lead, and the Falcons were able to climb back into the game late in the half. Nice give and go. Riley Carpentier, lone out front, finishes it off. That tied it at 4. They lead 5-4 at the break. Falcons come out fast in the second. Olivia Hecht able to use her speed to get herself to the net. Scores over the top of the keeper. Armstrong up 7-5 at that point. Then the Falcons start to fly away. Long run for Kelly Ruha. Cardinals can't stop her. She finishes with the goal. Armstrong up 10-6 on their way to a 16-6 win. So Cardinals kept it close early, but down the stretch, Armstrong just pulled away. And
well, they had a little bit of experience coming in because they've had played a couple of games, but they only scored 5 goals in those couple of games. Is that what you're saying? So they come back and score 16. So they fixed something on offense.
Yeah, the Cardinals, I'm certain, will do some some tinkering and some adjusting, and hopefully come out with a little more firepower and a little stronger defense. Next time around. They've got a couple of games this week. They're at Anoka this evening, Monday night, and they're at Duluth on Tuesday night. And then they have I can't remember who their other game. They have a third game this week. So they'll it's kind of a trial by fire, and again, learning how new coach Ashley Swenson wants them to play.
Well, and that's the thing. A new system, a little different style of coaching. And the fact that they're starting to get out and starting to play now, you're gonna have to try and get at least three games in a week, just to make up the balance of your season.
Yeah, and everybody's got to get better real fast in every sport because you don't have a whole lot of time. The spring season is already really short to begin with.
Yep.
When you add in what Mother Nature did to delay it, makes it that much more so. And that is all we have for this week's show, Shapiro. Woo-hoo! We got softball coming up on Tuesday against Armstrong, baseball on Thursday at Andover, and then on Monday next week, more baseball against the Panthers from Spring Lake Park. But that is going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us. Continue to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howard Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.